You're listening to the Good Stuff Podcast with C.K. Helms, Zach Bandit, and Ryan Mullins.
You're listening to episode 20 of the Good Stuff Podcast. Each and every episode of the Good Stuff Podcast is brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. Find more out about us at blindbanditproductions.com. And, of course, as always, I am C.K. Helms.
And I'm Ryan Mullins.
And I'm Zach Bandit.
He was going to do that last week, and he thought about it afterwards. And I said that, didn't we used to do weird stuff like that when we used to entertain me Arkansas? He almost didn't know what to say, Zach. He was like, Zach Bandit.
I didn't know what last name he was going by here lately.
Well, Bandit is his middle name.
Oh.
Like legit.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. First of all, I have so many questions. Why would your parents name you Bandit?
It was my dad's nickname. Like, he lived on the streets in San Francisco, and everybody called him Bandit. And
because he was one?
He passed the legacy on to you? That's all new information.
Yeah.
I never knew why your middle name was Bandit. I never thought to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a pretty uninteresting middle name. So.
Is it bitch tits?
I'm working on those. Stop.
What did you say about middle name?
Said I have a very uninteresting middle name.
Yeah, it's Ryan.
Yep. It is.
And I'm probably the only one that knows what your first name is.
Nobody knows what my first name is.
Well, I mean, it's Dustin.
What's the announcer right here?
Yeah, bleep that out of the podcast.
I'm not deleting that out of the podcast. It's Dustin Ryan Mullins. Anyways, I mean, if you want to say what my full name is, you go ahead.
I just don't like people that know my first name.
Okay. Anyway, guys, on almost each and every show, we have a fourth chair. And today, I'm going to go ahead and let fourth chair guy say hello and introduce himself a little bit.
Hi, everybody. My name's Taylor. That's all you get.
That's all.
This guy doesn't even want people to know his last name.
You could call me the Bishop if you want. That works too.
That's not your last name, though. It's just that this is a nickname.
No, Bishop is my last name.
I know. Taylor, just go.
No, it's not. Don't you lie.
Zach made that up. It's all.
Fourth chair is actually two people.
There is Taylor, and then apparently he's bipolar. Bipolar Bishop. So, anyway, Taylor Bishop. He's a friend of ours, and he is part of the Gotham Knights family, in a sense, and in a sense, he was cast.
What did you do? Tell me about you.
What?
Yeah. I said, Taylor, what do you do? Tell me about you.
Apparently, Ryan wants you to talk.
I don't like you, but okay. So.
Dang! I know I said make fun of Ryan throughout the show, but I didn't just be a jerk to him.
You didn't clarify how cold I was able to be. That's on you.
Hey guys, make sure you make fun of Ryan during the show. Ryan, I hope you die in a fire.
Whoa, man, I didn't say that. Hold on. I'm a voice actor currently living in another state from the rest of you guys.
Well,
And
no, Zach lives in New York.
see, another state from the rest of you guys.
Oh, this is true.
And well, I don't know much else. I play video games, I watch a lot of nerdy shit, and I go to work.
That's all you need to do in life, really.
That's life.
I mean, I don't even go to work. I just watch a lot of nerdy shit and play video games. So, I mean,
That is Ryan, but he thinks he has a job. But
supposedly he worked yesterday, and I just said to Zach, I didn't even know he had a fucking job.
I work 5 nights a week.
Hey, okay, you sit at your computer 5 nights a week and do DJ and karaoke, and you get paid way more than I do.
I will say that
Well,
dealing with drunk
that's
people
easy to
like
do
that
when
is
you
exhausting
don't have
as
a
hell.
job. But,
That's just luck, is what that is. But you said 5 nights, so what was you doing yesterday?
a special event, obviously.
Oh, so it's more than 5 nights, Ryan. Touche.
Okay. It still makes me the hardest working person in this group.
That's
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
I have 2 jobs. Fuck you.
You haven't even started working at your second job.
No, I'm gonna have 2 jobs.
I have 2 jobs.
It's actually physical labor, bitch.
I mean, there's some physical labor in what I do. I have to carry stuff around, set it all up. But other than that, yeah, I'm just an entertainer, whatever. Okay.
I mean, in some people's eyes, you've made it.
And in other people's eyes,
You're just a douche.
What is it? We just want to mention that at least at once this show. But anyway, guys, you can find us on a bunch of social media platforms such as Facebook, facebook.com/The Good Stuff Podcast. We're also on Instagram, Good Stuff Podcast. There's no the on the Instagram. And we also have Twitter.
Good stuff for real. The number 4. And our Blind Bandit Productions, I changed it to BBP for real.
Nice.
So, yeah.
We're getting fancy on the Twitter there.
Yeah.
Making friends, talking to people.
We only have 2 followers on our Blind Bandit.
Oh, on the Blind Bandit thing? But you don't post anything on there, do you?
I haven't really, no. I have like almost 400 on my personal one.
the MySpace page is not up and running yet, but the Zynga page is alive and well.
It's kicking, man. It's hopping. It is hopping on the Zynga. So that's always fun. Are we just going to keep the MySpace thing? Taylor, we're in time machine, man. Time is all sorts of a whole lot of whack. Speaking of time, real quick before we move on to the show, this is the Endgame special. And so there will be plenty of Avengers Endgame spoilers later on the show when we talk all the Endgame. So if you haven't seen Endgame, you probably should turn off the thing.
You guys are talking about when the Hulk explodes, right?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like he got too big and too green and just.
And what's in the movie,
Pop
Zach?
like
There's a what, Zach?
Oh, Professor Hulk?
There is a Professor Hulk. You're right, Zach.
That's the whole.
It starts with Professor Hulk.
It starts with Professor Hulk. There's a gag there, Taylor. You're out the loop. It's okay.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Catch up. You're a couple episodes behind. So,
You are right.
That's our social media pages, though. You can find us on all our platforms. If you want to just listen to the podcast, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and, of course, YouTube. And then we're on sorts of other podcasts like, what did Jeremiah tell us? Podcast Republic and something Castrate or something. I'm sure it's not Castrate. I was just saying if I can slip that one in there. Or slip it off. Whatever. Anyways, other types of platforms that pull from other resources. And so you can find us on all those. But I don't know all those. In fact, I didn't even know we were on some Podcast Republic till last week when Jeremiah was on here. We're going to move right on to our show, though. And we are recording this on Monday. Our show comes out on Thursday. So just to let you know that as far as news, trailers, and stuff like that, anything that's come out between Monday afternoon and Thursday when the show hits, you're not going to get that until the next week, episode 21, which I don't think I have a guest lined up for. But yeah, if you want to be a guest, you can email goodstuffpodcast@yahoo.com or hit us up on our Facebook page. But let's move on to the show. We start off the show with notable releases after, the usual banter that we've been doing for about 10 minutes now. Notable releases this week. At the theaters, May 10th, which is Friday, you can see Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Ryan, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I will be seeing it.
I figured you were. That's why I said your name first.
I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan. I'm a big Pikachu fan. So I'm gonna be seeing it.
Yeah. Do you still play Pokemon Go like all the time?
Not as much as I used to. Well, I'll be playing it more this summer. Whenever I switch my exercise cycles. But yeah, I do still play. I just not as much as I have been known to play.
Right. Anyway, it looks like it's gonna be a fun movie. To see they're like lifelike versions of Pokemon, something I always wanted to see. And so that Mr. Mime is creepy on there. And it should be a good movie. Should be fun. And what, Taylor, you excited about it or?
I really am. We're like the generation that grew up with Pokemon, so being able to finally see a real life version, is best we're gonna get until they start gene splicing and terrifying all of us. I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, should be. Zach, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I'll probably go see it, but I think it should have been Danny DeVito still. Should have played Pikachu.
Oh, that clip, whenever they took that and put all those "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" lines in for Pikachu. That's probably the funniest trailer I've ever seen. Danny DeVito should have been Pikachu, but it's okay. Whatever. Wasn't he rumored to be Pikachu before that
For
trailer?
the longest time, he was rumored to be playing him. Yeah.
God, that would have been so good.
I think the studio may have recorded the whole movie with Danny DeVito, and then for some reason they decided not to.
Who knows?
Just had Reynolds come in and redo all the lines.
You think maybe is there a DeVito cut that can we get that?
Look, if that happened, there's
The
gonna be a
DeVito.
bootleg version of it in 10 years, and you all know it,
But that's fine. I'll watch it in 10 years when it comes out.
right?
Eventually, there will be somebody who will get Danny DeVito to do all the lines from Detective Pikachu.
Just show up at anything that he goes to and just oh, you had a question, and they'll ask him a question. He goes, yeah, can you say, and just for years they just track down Danny DeVito, get him to do one line at a time at every place that he is, and eventually they get enough of all the Detective Pikachu lines, and then they just splice the movie whole together with Danny DeVito's lines recorded on a speakerphone.
Recorded on speakerphone.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Danny DeVito would do it for free, willingly.
Probably. I mean, does he need money?
He doesn't need money.
Nah.
He's got that Rhea Perlman money.
He's doing QuickBook commercials.
He's doing that because he thinks it's fun.
He's got
Yeah.
that. He's got that M&M money in the bank.
He's sitting on some money. I mean, he's been in the game for a while now.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what was he that movie where he was or not movie, but the TV show that he was on a long time ago? Taxi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where he was the taxi manager or whatever, station person.
He was in Taxi. I think he was in Cheers.
It was just in the Dumbo remake that they did, so he's got that Disney money now.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
got
man.
that
He's got that Disney money, but I
He's
wonder
had
if he's got
Disney
that.
money for a while because he was the voice of.
He's voiced of Philatides in Hercules.
Yeah.
Was that where you're going, Ryan?
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, I still think Ryan Reynolds is cool though. So, I don't want to take away from Ryan Reynolds because Ryan Reynolds is awesome.
Yeah. It's just weird hearing Pikachu talk like Deadpool, but
True. That makes sense. I guess he could have done the voice a little different, but whatever.
it's
Should've
Ryan
just-
Reynolds. You
Should
hire
just
Ryan
make the
Reynolds.
voice sound like Juggernaut from Deadpool.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
He played Juggernaut, so.
True. But anyway, let's move on from that. Another notable release, unless you had something else, Ryan. You had something else?
Nothing important.
Okay, of course. You were saying that, so of course it's not important. Moving on. We have another notable release on next week on Tuesday on May the 14th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The game Rage 2 comes out.
Drive anywhere, drive anything, shoot anyone, shoot anything. Post-apocalyptic anarchy world.
Are you going to be getting the game, or?
I'm probably gonna at least play the free trial weekend.
Okay. Did anyone play Rage 1, the first one?
I never played the first one.
Never got around to it.
Yeah. I think it it came out at a time when a lot of stuff other like it were coming out, and so I don't think the first one got really like the best of reviews. Whenever the other games around that time were coming out, they were like reviewed better. So
It made exactly enough money for a much better sequel.
Who makes Rage? What company?
isn't it the people that make Doom? Isn't it ID Software or whatever? Is it? No,
I think it was ID.
not for certain, but I thought they did. I could be wrong though. Could be wrong.
Pretty sure it was ID.
Are you looking that up?
Hey, I can. I have the trailer still open. It's Bethesda.
Did you say Cena?
Bethesda.
Oh, Bethesda.
Skyrim.
Bethesda?
Yeah, Bethesda.
Oh.
And it's developed by Avalanche in conjunction with id Software and published by Bethesda.
Okay, see. I knew ID.
It's just published by Bethesda. It's not made by them.
No, it's published by them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I knew ID had something to do with it, though. So, probably the first game was probably more ID than Avalanche. I guess it's probably some off-branch or something.
Probably.
Because I don't even know anything else about Avalanche.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a Rage movie before a Gears of War movie.
Oh, we're bringing that back up, huh?
This is gonna happen every episode now. It's gonna be like a running gag.
Anytime we talk about video games, we're going to talk about how they're going to be movies before Gears of War.
Gears of War.
I'm still waiting for my Halo movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're getting a Showtime series, so that's...
Yeah.
That's not the same.
I'd rather get a series than a movie, to be honest with you. If it's still in the same it's a Showtime show, so therefore, I mean, like the budget's probably be bigger, right, than normal shows. So I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
effects will be better. So therefore, you're gonna get like movie quality. It's like having an HBO show or some shit like that. You know, you're gonna get movie quality stuff, but it's in series form. So I mean, I think I'd rather have the Showtime series than a Halo movie.
Yeah, I suppose.
But Zach doesn't care about that, do you, Zach?
Fuck Halo.
There we are.
Who's
I
that?
mean, you've already established yourself as an edgy Gears of War fan, so I don't blame you.
He doesn't like Gears of War either.
Oh, okay.
He's not an Xbox guy. He's making a joke because last week they dogged on me about how I wanted a Gears of War movie because what movie was coming out? It's a video game movie. I don't remember.
Luigi's Mansion.
That is not coming out. Y'all just said that was coming out. I don't know. Don't forget it. Forget it. Moving on. So,
For the record, I did like Gears of War when it came out because before I got a PlayStation 3, I made a stupid decision and got an Xbox. So, but the only game I played on the Xbox was Gears of War.
That's a good one. But I like Halo, but more. But I mean, I like Gears of War. Trailers. We're moving on to trailers now. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6 trailer dropped. Does anybody watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. besides me?
I'm on season 3.
Okay. So shouldn't talk too much. Shouldn't talk too much about it. But the trailer, did anyone see it besides me?
I didn't watch it.
I feel like they're gonna have. What did you say? Sorry.
I said I haven't seen that yet. That's the only thing I haven't seen from the list.
Oh, okay. It looks like that they're going to be introducing the multiverse concept into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., though that hasn't, which we're going to talk more about in just a second, which it hasn't been confirmed that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you see like another Phil Coulson, and Phil Coulson's dead again. So the fact that he's on there and that like an evil version of him, so I think we're going to see more. It's going to be multiverse stuff, but that hasn't been like confirmed on there. But the trailer was pretty cool. The past few seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have been really good, and so I really enjoyed it on the show, and it really got good when Gabriel Luna was on there as Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, and then ever since then it's just gotten better in my eyes. Every time that they move on to something else, new arc, it just gets better. So I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to
Speaking of Ghost Rider, did you hear that Disney Plus is going to be picking up a Ghost Rider series?
Yeah,
It's either Disney Plus or Hulu, and they're bringing back him as Robbie Reyes.
Yep. We talked about it at the end of the last show.
Yay! That's what I get for being behind.
It's fine. It's all good. The Hulu show.
Still excited about it though.
You're gonna get that and a Hellstrom series,
right?
So that's pretty exciting. So yeah, exciting stuff though. But the trailer that just dropped this morning on Monday morning, just fresh in our minds, is the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. Taylor, I'll go ahead and let you talk more first about this.
Oh, me? Okay, cool. So, I was telling you guys before you guys started recording today. I watched it like 4 times.
And that's just this morning because it's just Monday today.
Yeah, I've already watched it like 4 times, and I picked up on new little bitty things every time. Like there's a quick shot of the stealth suit. There's mentions of the multiverse. I no matter how many times I watched it, I still didn't catch where Mysterio said he was from. Did anybody else get that?
He's from Earth, but a different Earth.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
but
yeah, but
there's something he said, and
Oh,
I couldn't quite make out the words. Like, it's quick. I think I watched that part a few extra times, but I still couldn't catch it.
no, I'm not for sure exactly what's said.
Yeah.
it could be another thing of something to throw people off, kind of like whenever Spider-Man's helping in Infinity War at the very beginning, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got off the bus from the field trip to blah." Could be one of those things. Who knows? They like to do that stuff to us.
Well, the good thing about this trailer is that now it's been confirmed that this movie for sure comes after Endgame.
Yeah.
Because for one, it opens up with Tom Holland, surprisingly, the one to tell us that they're spoilers is Tom Holland, spoiler king himself.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Endgame, then and then as soon as the trailer itself starts, like it just automatically, boom, there you are, spoiler from Endgame.
Runs straight into it.
Hits you right in the face, like boom, right there. Like the first line, I was like, Jesus Christ, was not kidding. He didn't even give people time to walk away. Like, didn't even get a chance to get out of the way. Oh, stop watching the trailer! Stop watching the trailer!
Hey guys, there are going to be spoilers right now.
Right now. Better run. I was like, Jesus Christ. But I've seen the movie, so I didn't really care. But I was just thinking about when people, if they haven't seen the movie, and they're like, that's not enough time. You didn't give people enough time. Give people a second. Jeez. Have some black in between you talking and the trailer starting. I'm excited about it, though. I'm excited that we have a Marvel Cinematic Multiverse instead of a Marvel Cinematic Universe. So,
And that's probably gonna be how they bring in like the X-Men and maybe the Fantastic Four and shit like that.
yeah,
Absolutely. Although if they bring in the Fantastic Four, I definitely want them to drop in a throwaway joke about how in another multiverse there's a Fantastic Four that looks kind of like the Cap of this universe.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It'd be a deep cut, but
it'd be a good deep cut.
It'd be a good one for people who sat through those things.
Too bad you couldn't do one with a Killmonger cut like that.
They could. Oh no, Killmonger's dead.
Yeah.
Spoilers, man. Dang.
Well, now that there's a multiverse, we can just say every Marvel movie ever is all just one universe now, one multiverse.
Yeah, every Marvel movie. Every Marvel movie.
That means the entire MCU didn't matter.
That means
doesn't matter?
That means both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield can come back as Spider-Man.
This is true.
What if they make special appearances in Far From Home?
That would be amazing.
And then you have Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal looking at each other, and then they're confused about who's who.
Like they do they do a little visual recreation of the Spider-Man pointing at himself in the alley meme.
They would only do it with Tobey Maguire because Andrew Garfield and Sony had like this falling out.
Yeah, it was they almost had Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Man animated movie that just came out.
Yeah, they almost had a scene with both of them, actually.
Yeah, but they had a falling out with Garfield, so now they could still use Tobey Maguire because what's he doing in life?
That's fair.
He's riding Seabiscuit.
Still riding them. Still going.
He's like BFFs with Leonardo DiCaprio.
In
Right.
real life?
Yeah, they like grew up together.
Oh. Why doesn't Leo put him in any of his movies?
I don't know.
Adam Sandler
He
puts all his friends in his movies.
They were
might
both in
put
The
him
Great
his
Gatsby.
Captain America movie coming out.
Did what?
I mean, they might put him in his Captain Planet movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying, Adam Sandler puts all his friends in every single movie. No matter
Man,
what.
Adam Sandler's living the dream, if you think about it.
It really is.
All he does is go hang out with his friends and shoot movies. That's all he does.
Yeah.
And he just hosted Saturday Night Live this past weekend
Did he?
With all his friends.
with all his friends.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I don't.
Yeah, they also did a special tribute to Chris Farley. He did a whole song performance about Chris Farley.
That song was in his Netflix special, and dude, it's awesome.
Oh, I watched the Netflix special, so I probably know what song you're talking.
Yeah.
But he got super emotional doing it on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, but I mean, I'm sure because I mean that's where he met Farley. So I mean, oh man, it's good. But it was one of the better episodes of Saturday Night Live that I've seen in a while. I don't know where we got off on the Saturday Night Live, but I'm gonna fish us back in to Far From Home.
Okay.
Do you think that Mysterio is going to remain a hero the entire movie?
No.
Do you think that does anyone think he will?
No, I think all the elementals and stuff, I think they're like illusions.
So you don't think it's actual Hydro Man and the other ones?
I don't
No,
think
they're
I
just
mean,
illusions.
I feel like they're just, I don't know. I feel like he's creating illusions to make himself look like a hero.
So do you think he's from this Earth or another Earth?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it could
If-
just be, he could just be lying. It'd be cooler though if he was from another Earth because
Look, if Fury
I have a
hadn't said
theory.
that they had been torn, that the hole had been torn, I would think he was lying.
Yeah.
I have a theory about this.
Okay.
I think that Mysterio is from a different multiverse. I think that it'll be explained that he was in a multiverse and he got technology from the Tony Stark of that world. And the reason why is if you look at his suit, it has the same lights built into it that Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit does.
I have to look at it.
And I just there's a few things about his costume that look like Stark Tech to me.
Here's another theory. What if he is from another multiverse? This ties in a while ago what we were talking about. And what if he is from another multiverse, but he was a villain, Mysterio, from the Tobey Maguire universe?
Or what if in his universe
Mind blown.
in his universe he was a hero, and then he comes back to this Earth, and then he gets pissed off because Spider-Man takes the spotlight, like in the comics, and kind of becomes a villain.
So he doesn't become a villain until because he gets mad at Spider-Man because he just becomes a little bitch and he's like, no, my spotlight. I'm just going.
Yeah, I think a similar thing happened in the comics, and that's kind of why he hates Spider-Man.
Maybe so.
I'd be cool with that.
It'd be cool. I really hate for them all to be illusions, especially Hydro Man.
Just it's all illusions, like your sense of mental stability.
I mean, you're right. This does make sense. This makes favorite part of the trailer though. Zach.
Me? Why me?
I don't know. I just went with you first.
I don't know. I just thought the best part of the trailer was when he just said he's just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and then Nick Fury's like, "Bitch, you've been to space."
I thought that was my favorite part too.
I mean, once you've squared off in hand-to-hand combat against Thanos, you don't get to just pretend like you're nothing anymore.
They're friendly universe Spider-Man.
My second favorite. It was a really close tie between that and whenever he burned that cop. Whenever they
Oh,
cop
yeah,
asked him if
that
he
was
was going to be are you going to be the new Iron Man? He's like, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your job. It's like, damn. Ryan, what you about the same for you or?
I like the fact that he is continuing to use the Iron Spider suit.
That was pretty cool.
I for the longest time we had all kind of been led on to believe that Far From Home took place prior to Endgame.
Yep.
And so I'm really excited to see the Iron Spider suit being used.
Taylor?
Well, I gotta be a little corny with this one and say that I think my favorite part was MJ there at the end. And he's like, I got something to tell you. She's like, what, you're Spider-Man?
That was good too. Good too. He was like,
no.
I mean,
no.
I mean, once Spider-Man keeps
kinda
showing
obvious.
up to where you are, it's kind of like obvious. I think that someone in your group is Spider-Man.
yeah.
Like
was-
the first field trip or the thing in DC, and Spider-Man shows up and Peter's there, and then they go on the field trip to another country, and then Spider-Man's there, and also Peter Parker. So
and Spider-Man was gone for 5 years.
yeah, so it's kind of not too hard to put two and two together, especially if you're his friend.
Then again, so were they. They had to
True.
be if they're on a class trip.
Yeah, I mean, they were all snapped. At least the four of them, the main ones,
Mm-hmm.
had to were snapped. Which we already knew Ned had been snapped because the end of Endgame. So
Yeah.
but actually, I think they had said I had read somewhere that they said his entire classmates the group, the people that they were cast and talked and stuff like that, the main ones, they said they were all snapped. So, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of hoping that Flash wasn't, and then that way they can have a reason for him being older and bigger.
That makes sense. Yeah, I see what you're
And
doing.
that way he's angry at everyone else because he's so much older.
5 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are.
but it wouldn't really make any sense.
Yeah, they'd
go
have to
on.
cast somebody different too.
Unless it's 5 years later, and I don't know, he's like a teacher at the school. Or he's like a TA or something.
Yeah, to still have him in the movie, it wouldn't make it. Oh. It's just like, oh, I just happen to be here and cross country. Anyways, Taylor, let's ask you a few questions real quick. So, how did you get to know this group of people that you're talking to right now? Well, besides Zach, I guess, because you just now met Zach virtually.
Yeah. Well, it all started with a casting call that I found on Facebook for Gotham Knights.
I've heard of
And,
this show.
Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I'll send in an audition, see what happens. And I sent in an audition to the production team for Gotham Knights. Of myself, I was actually sitting in my closet doing that audition because it was the quietest place in the house at the time. And a couple days later, I got a message back from the production team and telling me that I got the part of the Mad Hatter for their Mad Love short film.
Yeah.
And while I'm still waiting for that to happen, they've moved on to some really awesome stuff with their event series. So that's how I met most of you guys.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever happened to Mad Love?
Whatever happened to parts 3 and 4?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Mad Love was supposed to come out like a couple of years ago or something.
Tim decided that, well, Heather was too busy and that he wanted to move on and start going ahead and filming the event because we had Dustin and everything and had everything, and I don't know. I don't remember.
Either hurry up, but I'm still holding on to 3 and 4.
You and me both, man.
I'm excited to find out how it all ends.
I don't know what happens. Yeah, I remember that audition video you sent, and me and Ryan did both because we were part of the production team. I say were because I'm no longer part of Gotham Knights, so except for an actor, so I can't really, and I guess co-editor with Zach, which I mean that's really not even work right now. So. And neither's acting, so I guess I'm not even part of it really at this time because I've done all my acting for the most part except for the final bits. And yeah, I remember watching that video and was like, well, this guy is just Mad Hatter. Your voice
Really
that you
good
did,
audition.
yeah, it was a great audition, and thanks for the trivia you dropped on me of being in you were sitting in your closet, because that's pretty funny to think about. I never noticed that you were in a closet.
Yeah.
He filmed the whole thing a la R. Kelly.
Yeah, trapped in the closet. Good job. Nice call there.
That's like the least favorite thing I've ever been compared to. Thank you.
But anyway, I thought your voice was awesome. We had some other people audition for Mad Hatter, but it just was, which they were good. Like this one kid was really, really good audition, and but yours was just that. As soon as you started talking, I was like, oh, it's so great. It's so. I have a thing for voices, and like you just associate voices with characters and stuff, and just people to hear you, which technically, in a sense, you have kind of played Mad Hatter.
Yeah, you're right. I have actually one time.
Yeah. It was in our live action fight sequence at Little Rock Comic Con 2 years ago. You played Mad Hatter in that. So you kidnapped my what was at the time was my girlfriend. And
in the beginning.
In the beginning, there was. Anyways, and then Ryan was a part of that too. Ryan just picked her up and moved her. But other than that, and it was all the entire live action fight sequence of me and Batman fighting the Mad Hatter thugs. And it was all a ruse. It was all just some giant elaborate thing that I came up with the help of Dustin to propose to my girlfriend. And now she's my wife. So it was, and nobody knew except for me, Ryan, the guy playing the guitar, and Dustin and Justin.
What? Yeah, one of the. No, Justin didn't even know.
No, Justin knew, but Madison didn't know.
I don't think Justin.
No.
Well, Justin didn't know that the guy with the guitar was going to be coming up.
Yeah, he didn't know the guy with the car was coming up, but he knew that I was proposing.
I had to stop him. He was about to like grab the guy with the guitar and stop him from interrupting everything.
That's fantastic.
He didn't know that this guy with the guitar. He's just like, he told me, he's like, all I knew is like this guy just came in and started interrupting our thing we were doing. I was getting kind of upset because I put a lot of effort into this.
Justin's a good man. Justin's
Yeah.
a good man. He was gonna stop that guy from interrupting my proposal. No, man. Step back. Whoosh. It would have just been crazy if Justin just took down Chris with his guitar.
The story gets more boring every time we talk about it.
I think it's the first time you've ever heard this story.
What are you talking about? I heard the proposal story like a million times.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Really?
You've
Really?
talked. What?
Really?
Shut
But
up.
really though. Didn't think so.
I'm
And
He
leaving.
just loves telling the story so much, he's upset that you stopped it.
Do what?
Said he just loves telling the story so much that he's upset that you stopped it.
Yeah, right. But back to Taylor though. You threw that costume together yourself though, right?
Yeah, most of it came from my local Goodwill.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I didn't get from there was the hat.
Okay. It was a good
Yeah.
hat. It's good to have.
It can't be the Mad Hatter without a hat. It just doesn't work.
Where did you get the hat from?
I actually bought it off eBay.
Nice.
It was just some cheap party hat.
Cool.
You have to enter into a bidding war with somebody else.
I did. They drove it up an extra $3, which was kind of obnoxious because it was a cheap hat. But yeah, no, I threw that costume together, just hoping it would work.
It did.
Found the most outlandish things I could find.
I thought it was great. Now, before Gotham Knights, in your audition, have you acted in anything else?
Nothing major. I've done a few voice acting projects with a couple of friends up here. We did most of the first season of a fan dub for an anime called Wagnaria, which you can't really find it anywhere anymore. But that one was probably the biggest project that I've been a part of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know this about you, Taylor.
Well, now you do.
I don't know what the anime's about, but it's pretty cool that you fan dubbed. I bet that's a hard process to do.
It actually kind of is, because you have to meet a certain time frame for your lines, and there's not an official English dub of it. So the friend who did all the production side, he actually had to go through and take the time to translate the whole thing.
Oh wow! So there's not even a sub version of it?
There is a subbed version, but the sub doesn't quite match. It never matches the dub.
Okay.
So like he had to go through, he watched the series like 6 times, I think, trying to get everything right.
Wow.
That's dedication.
Can we do a dub series?
Can we do?
I don't see why not.
Can we just do a dubstep series?
Oh,
Pass the boss.
now you're talking. And my favorite project I've been a part of, aside from Gotham Knights so far, has been we do a Machinima series for a wrestling show. And I've done a couple voices for that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What machinima? For those that don't know what that is, can you explain that?
Machinima is, in essence, it's you take a video game and you make a story and a show out of it. Like, the most notable is Red versus Blue. Most people know what that is. And with this one, we use the WWE games and create stories, have all our own characters, have an entire voice cast going on. It's really fun.
So like the newer ones, or like which ones? Like
we
a certain one?
started it. We started it back in like 2007.
Okay. So
And
it was like
we've just
Raw
kind of-
versus SmackDown era.
Yeah, the SmackDown versus Raw era, and I think we've actually got one show out on WWE 19 now.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun to see it come together and to be a part of it.
I'm gonna have to like look that stuff up so I can watch that.
Yeah, I can send you a link after we're done here, and it's where we actually have a Twitter. It's not very active when we're not putting out shows, but it's the SWF official.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool, man. You
Check it
do a lot
out.
of other cool stuff that we didn't know about.
Yeah, we've been hiding this secret life from us, Taylor.
I try to stay busy, guys.
If I was going to do a dub wrestling game show, or not machinima, not dub, machinima wrestling show, I want to use WWF No Mercy.
Oh my god.
Just because that was like the game for me.
That's fair.
Did anybody play Royal Rumble for the Dreamcast?
I don't think so.
It was so bad.
No Mercy is probably the best wrestling game of all time, I think.
I liked the first WWF SmackDown where you could change the title's hands, and one time I played as Mankind against like this chick and I got the women's championship. So I was Mankind with the women's title.
Nice.
Good time.
Your WWE Divas Champion, Mankind.
But I was the women's champion back then.
Yeah. Back then it was just the women's. And now they don't even have the Divas title. Kid, just women. Well, awesome, Taylor. Thanks for telling us all that. I can't wait
Absolutely.
to watch this wrestling show. So we should. You should send us that. We can watch an episode, and then we could talk about it on next week's show, maybe.
Sure.
So we'll like give you like a little play rundown of it and our thoughts on the show.
Awesome.
You two guys want to do that?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do that. If you send us one, we'll do like one of the. You said you've made one. You've made one with the 2K19, right?
Yeah, we've
Now-
made one with that. I will say that is our WrestleMania, as it were.
Is it
And
a
it's like-
continuation of the story?
It's the culmination of the story. So I can probably find a couple. I think we used either 14, I think was the last one we used.
Uh-huh.
Because there was some time when, it's a project, so life gets in the way sometimes. So there's a nice long gap, but we've done a couple of shows. So I can probably find one of those and send them to you. That way you kind of know what's going on a little better. And
Okay.
you don't have to spend 4 hours watching it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah.
I'm
Do that,
down.
and I'll make the other two watch it, and we'll talk about it. Because I mean, that
Sweet.
seems cool. I mean, we'll review. I put it out there all the time that we'll review anything. So I mean, just waiting for people to send me stuff. So.
Well, all right.
But it was good getting to know you, man. More. And so thanks for letting us know some stuff. Because like
Absolutely.
I said, even me and Ryan didn't know some of that stuff. So but let's move on. So last week on the show, we kind of dogged the new Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
Yup.
And kind of talked about what Sonic looked like.
And it was well deserved.
Yes, and so we dropped the episode at noon on Thursday, and then sometime later that afternoon, like 3, 4 o'clock the afternoon, the director of Sonic said that they were going to be changing the look of Sonic after fan outcry.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah messaged me, Black Mass messaged me, because he was on the show last week, and he said, "Oh my God, did we change this?"
We've altered the timelines.
They changed it because of our show. I know I'm not saying that they listen to the Good Stuff podcast, because they don't, but it was just kind of crazy that we talked about the look of that, and then it ended up getting, they said they're going to change it. So I just thought that was pretty cool.
Like, it's going to be a lot. I mean, it's a complete rework of the animation.
It's probably a marketing scheme, and it was probably a plan the whole time.
I have said that. I've said that I feel like this is something that was planned for a while.
I was wondering that too, to be honest. Like, they know they can't compete with Detective Pikachu as far as, beloved video game heroes go. So they made it look as bad as they could while having a better version in the back pocket the whole time.
So here's if it is a marketing ploy, that means that really they probably don't have to change a lot, because they probably made it look like in the trailer bad, but in the rest of the movie, they actually made the movie in editing right. Because I thought to myself, like, if you think about it, if they literally had to change the entire look in the entire movie, wouldn't that take forever?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it would. But,
It would.
So, I mean, like, I feel like they'd have to delay the movie, because there's no way it'd be able to. I don't know exactly when it comes out.
Exactly what I said, that they've already come out with a release date. And you can't come out with a release date while at the same time completely redoing almost every scene of the movie.
Yeah, you would have to do pretty much. I mean, he's probably in most of the scenes. I mean, any other scene he's not in, it's Dr. Robotnik or whatever.
He is the star character of the movie. So.
He's got to be in a good 75% of that movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, probably what happened is that they edited the movie. Then when they made trailer, they probably just changed the look of him in the trailer scenes.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. But I mean, I had read reports that Sega was upset over the look of the character. So, I mean, I don't know. So maybe it is a big marketing scheme. Who knows? I'm just glad that it's going to look different. Just because that Sonic look. God bless America. Now,
I'm not even sure America had anything to do with it.
If they make it look better, then it's not like the trailer was bad. Like the trailer itself was bad. It's just the look of Sonic. I mean, like, if he looked like Sonic and didn't look like whatever that thing was, then it would be a whole lot different, better movie. So, I mean, I don't know. It's getting changed, so that's good.
I'm just glad that whatever the case is that it's not going to look like what it did in the trailer.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was marketing ploy, good job. Good on you. That's good thing.
Yeah.
Good. You did really good, because we're definitely talking about the movie. I mean, we're definitely interested in the movie now, whether we're bad interested or not. Hey, well, you know what they say? Any press is what? Not bad press or whatever.
If
any press is good press.
If they had not introduced the fact that Jim Carrey was playing Robotnik in this latest trailer, though, I think that the fan base would have revolted. Like, Jim Carrey was the saving grace of that trailer.
Yeah, especially the end when you saw what he really looked like. So.
Yeah.
Right. I do want to know how he gets from the point where we see him earlier in the trailer to that, though.
Yeah.
Several years later.
I bet it's just because hopping from the video game universe to the real universe, but then I don't know how the people know who he is.
Yeah, because he
Right.
seems to have existed on our Earth for a while, because like people knew who he was.
Maybe they entered into some type of black hole situation, and Robotnik came out first, and then he was there for years before Sonic showed up. And while it was only like a few seconds for Sonic, it was like a few years for Robotnik.
That could happen.
You know,
Yeah.
because time is different whenever you.
Time is relative.
Yeah, that's real. So, but speaking of video games, though, did you guys see that a new Earthworm Jim game is coming out
Yup.
Yeah.
from the original makers of the game?
Yeah. Earthworm Jim 3 for the Super Nintendo was probably one of the best side-scrolling video games for Super Nintendo.
That Earthworm Jim series was just back in the day when we were all kids and stuff. It was such a huge thing, you know. And didn't they have a cartoon?
Yeah.
They did it.
I love
Yep.
that cartoon.
Yeah. So it was such a
Around
huge
the time
deal.
They had the Back to the Future animated series.
Back in the day.
Hey.
We're getting
When
old.
cartoons were marketed to us.
Yes.
It
So,
looks good.
I do have one thing about the new Earthworm Jim game that I'm not really happy about. Is that it's specifically coming to an Intellivision retro console.
Really?
Yeah, it's only going to be on the Intellivision Amico. It's not coming to anything that any of us currently have.
I bet that gets changed.
I don't think it will, because Intellivision is the one behind getting the team back together.
Never say never in this universe, though, Taylor.
I have doubts. I didn't say never. I just have doubts.
Yeah, I mean, I have doubts too. Now that you said that, I didn't know that. I guess I didn't read that part.
Yeah, when I found out that they were doing an Earthworm Jim game, I got really excited and read as much as I could about it.
Oh.
Found out that Intellivision is bringing out a new console, and they are the ones behind bringing the old team back together and getting everything going.
What was the name of the company that had that? Was it?
I wish
wasn't
I could remember.
a team.
Was it Bandai?
Hmm.
Was it? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Can't remember now.
We're in Jim game now, so I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry.
It's just a bit of another sad news from this week, but the saddest news and probably the biggest
Oh,
news to talk about, I guess, would be the death of Peter Mayhew,
don't hurt me like this.
who played Chewbacca in the Star Wars movie. He passed the other day, and probably the biggest death of 2019.
Oh, sorry.
So, I mean, so far, definitely, it was a hard moment. You know, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't even know he was sick. Was he sick?
I don't know. I think the statement just said that he passed away peacefully in his home, surrounded by friends and family.
Huh. Well,
I
I know
mean-
that he was. See, here's why I don't know if he was sick or not. It's because he was still scheduled to do cons, and he was supposed to be at a con this past weekend. And so they ended up making a memorial for him at the con where his table was supposed to be.
Which was classy as all
Oh
get
yeah,
out.
yeah. They made like a guest book thing you could sign to,
Mm-hmm.
and just so that makes me think. Like I guess I didn't research enough, because I mean it's just hard enough to know Chewie's gone, and so I didn't really want to research too much into it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he was sick or not, because I mean obviously he wouldn't be scheduled for a con if he was sick.
I mean, he's not been in the greatest health for quite some time, and he was, I think, like 76.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the original Star Wars movie, so I guess it's not really surprising that he was 76. But
Right. So I think it may have just been natural causes, to be honest.
yeah, it probably
But
just happened overnight, maybe, or because it was late at night, wasn't it? Wasn't in the evening time whenever he passed, though.
I think so.
Because
Like you, I didn't really read a whole lot about it. I was just,
yeah.
yeah.
It was sad. It was sad. So I mean, you got a lot of stuff. People posting, we're home, Chewy, and other stuff lines, and I said, rest in peace, Fuzzball. So
It's a sad life for such a scruffy little nerf herder.
nice. Zach, were you upset? Zach?
I think he went to go get tissue.
Hello?
I don't blame him.
Zach, you still there?
Yeah,
What? Are you okay?
I'm crying.
Oh. Well, I guess that's how you feel about the subject.
I mean, honestly, that kind of sums up all of it, but Zach, you should have just left it at that.
I was crying.
Okay, fine.
There
I
you
was
go.
crying. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I teared up a little bit. So, sad moment. Sad moment.
It was a sad moment. It's the saddest moment we've had here on the show.
Yeah. I'm just glad we weren't doing the show when Stan Lee died, because I wouldn't be able to get through it.
That hurt my heart.
Still hurting my heart just thinking about it.
Right.
So, Nick, what do you have for us this week in comic books?
In comic books for this week, every week I let you know what was my top comic book of last week, and then what runner-up, and then this next week on Wednesday, new comic books come out, what you should get, or what I'm most looking forward to. Last week, I gave you a recommendation to what I thought would be my most anticipated. It was actually beat out. My top comic book of the week was actually Batman number 70. It was the first in the new arc, The Fall and the Fallen. The book is written by Tom King. The art is by Mikel Janin and Jorge Fornes. Colors are by Jordi Belair, and lettering by Clayton Coles. Anyways, Batman. I've talked a lot about Tom King. My top book from last week was Heroes in Crisis, which was from Tom King. So 2 weeks in a row now, I've had Tom King books as number one. But God, he is an amazing writer, and this Batman run has been it's been amazing. And there's been low points and stuff, but as well. But some of the best Batman stories have come out of this Tom King Batman run. And like the War of Jokes and Riddles, probably one of the greatest Batman arcs of all time, I think. And made Kite Man interesting to me. So, which you never thought you would say that. But this Batman number 70, it's a new arc, The Fall and the Fallen. It's right before the next arc is City of Bane. It just came out of the Nightmares arc. And so through this it was like 6-7 issues of Batman. He was hooked up to this machine, which was like injecting Scarecrow's gas into him. And basically he had to live like all his nightmares. And each issue was different nightmare and stuff. And a lot of it had to do with Selena. And stuff like that. Catwoman, because she left him at the altar for their wedding. And so he gets out of the machine. here at the very beginning, and he's in Arkham, and Riddler's there like watching over him in the machine, and he gets out of it, and like Riddler's talking some trash to him, and just Batman just gets out and just punches him and just knocks him out, and then it's just shot, page and page of Batman going through the entire Arkham Asylum, just knocking the shit out of every villain there, because the villains have pretty much taken over, and Bane is taking over the city, and all the villains are in Arkham with Batman, and he takes them all out, just one by one, just goes through and just bam, 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 just he's mad. This dude is mad, and so the last person he sees is Two-Face, and he's like telling Two-Face, he's like he's trying to talk to Harvey, and like so he's talking to Harvey, and then Two-Face is and like Harvey's like trying to listen to him and talk to him, and then it's split. You see the other side of his face, it's Two-Face, and he's like calling him trash. He's like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Harvey. And so he's like still telling Harvey that he needs to go tell Bane. He said, look, I'm tired. I've been in this machine. I've been through a bunch of nightmares, but I'm tired right now. And me and Bane need to have a chat. But since I'm tired, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to go get an army of people, and I'm going to come back. Me and Bane are going to have a chat. So I need you to let Bane know. But first, right now, I'm just going to go home. And so he just takes out Two-Face, and then he just leaves Arkham Asylum. It was just crazy just to see Batman go through and take all these villains out, and then just the way he was just like, I'm tired, so I'm going home. But tell Bane I'm coming back, and we're gonna have a talk. And I was just like, hell yeah, Batman, whatever. You tell him I'm Batman, I'm coming for him. So it was a great issue, guys. My runner up was my top anticipated comic of last week was Deceased #1 by Tom Taylor, who did the Injustice comic books. It's Deceased zombies is basically what it is. It's they're fighting Darkseid, Justice League is, and he's came to get the other half of the anti-life equation, which if you know anything about Darkseid, he's always after the anti-life equation. That's what he feels like he needs. And it's kind of like, Thanos is doing something for doing what he does for death. Well, everything that Darkseid does is to get this anti-life equation to become like the most powerful person and like a god, basically. And so he's come to Earth, and like the Justice League beats him back, and then he just like leaves. He's like, oh, I got what I came for, and so he just leaves. And he tells them that he's kidnapped Cyborg. So he's kidnapped Cyborg because Darkseid has one half of the anti-life equation, and he kidnaps Cyborg because Cyborg apparently is the other half of the anti-life equation. And to get that, he kidnapped Cyborg. And Batman knows that he kidnapped Cyborg because apparently Batman has Cyborg low-jacked and knows that he's on Apocalypse. And so all the other Justice League members are like, what the hell? You got him low-jacked? He's like, well, yeah, in case, he's pretty much a cyborg with apocalyptic technology. In case he ever turned, I needed to know where he was at. And they're like, so how many of us do you have low-jacked? And he just never answers the question. He just like puts it off and just keeps talking about Cyborg. It just never says if he has anyone else low-jacked. It's all just like, yeah, Batman, that's you, man. You do that. That's you. So back on Apocalypse, they basically recreate the anti-life equation. Well, apparently it causes a virus. So in Cyborg's system, so ends up making everybody in contact a zombie, and so it makes Darkseid a zombie, and they send Cyborg back to Earth before, and then the whole Apocalypse gets destroyed because Darkseid jumped into the core and destroyed the entire planet. So then when Cyborg, it's a techno-organic virus, so when Cyborg gets back to Earth, it uploads itself to the internet. So anybody that looks at a phone screen or video screen of any sort which you can see why this would be bad in today's society, gets the virus and becomes a zombie. So that's basically a gist of the first issue. Some other heroes become, some Batman sidekicks become zombies before he can save them. Superman saves his family, but unfortunately there was a couple of Bat sidekicks that Batman didn't make it to before he got to the Batcave, because Batman got to the Batcave and put up a firewall on the Bat computer so he could use the computer. So but he forgot to do the house, so he goes to find Alfred. Alfred's all good. He didn't look at a phone screen, but unfortunately some dick did. So it's a good series, and I think it's a 6-issue miniseries, so I definitely recommend that as well. I like Batman. Speaking of I like Batman, this week though, new comic books come out on Wednesday. If you're listening to the show, it comes out on Thursday, so technically the day before this. And my top comic for this week is also a Batman. It's The Batman Who Laughs, number 5 by Scott Snyder. And it's totally different because it has to do with the Batman Who Laughs. And if you don't know who the Batman Who Laughs is, he's basically from an alternate world where Batman and the Joker, it's pretty much like a Joker type Batman. Bruce Wayne has been infected by this, in this alternate universe, this Bruce Wayne is basically became the Joker and Batman together, because he got infected with a Joker virus thing. So, and it's been a great run, and the character, which I've talked about before, I think, on the show, the Batman Who Laughs. So it's a good character. So I'm really excited about that. Whether that will still be my top pick once next week rolls around, we'll wait and see. But that's the one I'm most anticipated this week, and that's all that I have for this week on CB with CK. Cool.
All right.
Yeah. But we're going to move on to what this show was really about, and that's talking about Endgame. And as I said, while we're talking about Endgame, obviously there's going to be spoilers for Endgame from here on out. So if you haven't seen Endgame, now is the time to go ahead and turn off the episode, come back and listen to it another time. Come back and listen, because we're going to have theories and discussion and all kinds of stuff about it, I'm sure.
Tony Stark dies.
Yep, there you go. You could have gave people a few seconds or whatever.
All right,
I
Tom. Good job.
I just decided to do the whole Far From Home thing. So
yeah, give people no time whatsoever.
Good job, Tom.
Man. So, Zach, what did you think about Endgame?
I was pretty much, I don't know. I didn't know what to think after I saw it. It was probably one of the greatest films I ever saw, to be honest.
I can't remember what you said to me after you saw it, because you saw it first.
I just said no words. And
no words.
Yeah, the battle scene at the end, that was probably the best. I don't know, that was the best battle scene I think I've ever seen cinematically.
Oh, for sure.
But it was emotional. It was, I don't know, it was just good.
It was so great. It was so much stuff that went on in that movie. What was your favorite part of the movie? It's really hard to pick out.
My favorite part was when Hulk meets Hulk. Ryan. That's another joke, Taylor.
Please, Taylor, go back and listen to the episode Ryan as a Liar, and you will totally understand what we're talking about.
Oh, I'll get it even better. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if I have a favorite scene. My favorite part of the movie was just the whole the whole battle scene, like I don't know, just the whole thing was the highlight of the movie, I think.
Oh, the ending battle.
Yeah, the last battle with all the heroes coming out and like friggin' Howard the Duck came out.
I'm gonna have to watch Endgame again because I didn't
I
see Howard the Duck.
I saw an image online and it looks like it came out of like all the people from like nowhere and stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's blink and you'll
'Cause-
miss it. Like you have to really be looking for it.
Yeah, they're in the section with all the people that are coming back that were killed from nowhere, I think. But I don't even know how they got there because all the Strange and his people got everybody there, so I don't know how they knew to go to nowhere and get them there, but
Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, Strange did see that future 14 million times.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's what I was about to say.
So maybe he just saw Howard the Duck. So
Like, I gotta
Just
get
like,
that
yeah.
guy on our team. It's a duck with a fucking Tommy gun.
I mean,
I mean, if you don't have a duck with a Tommy gun on your team, what are you even doing?
right?
You know?
I mean, I guess that was a good way just to get everybody that's been in a Marvel movie, basically. I really should dissect that more whenever it comes like out on Blu-ray or whatever to like see who all is really in there. You know, because is Agent 13 in that movie? In the movie, is she in that scene? I don't know. So,
Maybe
go
the
back.
Punisher's there.
Maybe the Punisher's there. Maybe the Punisher's there. So overall, where would you rank that on your MCU movies?
I mean, that's definitely my top now. It's probably
Nice.
like the commercials say, like it's really like a once in a lifetime event. Like honestly, because I
It
don't
is.
think anything's gonna happen like it ever again.
Right. Ryan, you still with us? Ryan? Okay. Don't know what happened with Ryan. Taylor,
Moving on.
Yo,
what did you think about the movie?
it was a spectacle. Like, I really just kind of echo Zach's thoughts here in that it's kind of a once in a lifetime thing, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I laughed, I cried, I laughed some more, cried harder.
I cried a lot. No.
Like
Did not cry.
at one point, I wasn't sure if it was happy or sad tears, but I know it was both.
Yeah. It was a good movie. What was your overall favorite part of the movie? You think? Do you have a favorite part of it, or?
I've seen it twice now, and I've got to say probably just the scenes where mostly just the scene where they go to get Tony near the beginning, and he's there with Morgan and just being a dad and not worrying about being Iron Man for once.
Yeah.
And because seeing that side of Tony is really rare, even in all the movies he's been in, because he's always just Iron Man all the time. And I don't know, just seeing that calm bit, I don't know why I like that one so much, but yeah.
And didn't you get the iconic "I love you 3000" line there?
Oh, that hurts.
I know. Do you think that'll always be a thing? That'll just be something infused in our culture from now on?
Oh yeah, it's like the after all this time, always from Harry Potter. This is the new that.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is like the line that's the line that's defined this generation is "I love
Yeah.
you 3000." It'll be something we always remember. Like
Yeah.
so.
And a little bit of trivia that I found out about that is they put that in there because that's what Robert Downey Jr. actually says to his kids.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
Did you also see where if Spider-Man Far From Home is at 2 hours and 9 minutes, the entire MCU up to that point will be total of 3,000 minutes?
That's amazing. I didn't see that. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. The Spider-Man Homecoming was just 2 hours and 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, something like that. So it's not unreasonable to think that it could fall at 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah, not at all.
And by the way, guys, I have no idea where Ryan is. I've texted him. Obviously, his phone didn't go off, so I don't know what happened to him.
He probably got killed.
No, we're not that lucky. Come on.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm-
Are we at that point in the MCU? Is it time? Did the snap just happen?
Oh shit!
Ryan's gone.
Ryan was the only one that got snapped. I guess we have to go and save him, but I'm lazy, so.
Oh
I
man.
We don't have to
mean,
go save him for like
maybe
5 years.
maybe if it was you, I'd go and try to save him, but
Taylor or me?
you.
Yes.
Oh, me. Okay, cool. I was really confused. I was like, you barely even know Taylor. Are you gonna go save him?
Well, yeah, I'd save Taylor over Ryan.
Thanks,
What if
man.
what if does that make you feel important? It should.
It does.
But all at the same time, I mean, it's Ryan. So, I mean, I don't know how important that would make me feel.
Maybe Agent 47 came into his house and shot him.
How long has he been off?
I don't
He's
know.
still on the call. He's still on the call. And
He's on the call.
yeah,
Did
Yeah.
he have like a stroke or something? Like,
I
what the fuck happened?
I don't know. Like I said, though, like he must be like on the other line or something. Like someone must have called him and he must be taking care of some business. But Taylor, still on to you though. What where would you rank Endgame with the rest of MCU movies in your opinion?
So I actually have two ranking systems I'm using for this because I can't decide.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of them all, it's number one because it's the culmination of all of these movies. Everything has been leading to this point. In terms of standalone and kind of like narration, I gotta say it's probably 2 on my list. It drops down because I absolutely loved Captain America the Winter Soldier.
All right. Okay.
And I know you have some issues with that one.
No, Winter Soldier is actually was my favorite MCU movie.
Oh, it was which one was it that you said they just totally ripped Baron Zemo?
That was Civil War.
Civil War. That's the one. Yeah. Wrong Cap film. But yeah, no, Winter Soldier was probably
Which I don't think that Civil War is a bad movie. It's just that Baron Zemo is like a really iconic villain to me, and that's like if you screwed up Red Skull. Like I feel like that's your two Cap villains is Red Skull and Baron Zemo, and if you're gonna do those people, do those villains. I just think some villains have to be done completely right, and
That's
they
fair.
just screwed up Baron Zemo to the point where that's what really turned me off of Civil War. Not that Civil War's a bad movie. Like I enjoyed seeing all of them. I see Spider-Man the first time, whatever. And I mean, I enjoyed the movie. A lot of good parts in that movie. It's just that they screwed up Baron Zemo so bad, it docked so much points in my head. You know, which
Right.
if I was putting Civil War in a top ranking, it's going to be up there. I mean, it's going to be up there in the MCU movies. Don't get me wrong. It's just
Fair.
that's it. Why it lands below things. But Winter Soldier was my top MCU movie. So
Yeah. And speaking of Winter Soldier, the elevator scene in Endgame.
Yes, that was great. And I hit Lacey when we was watching. I was like, oh my god, it's just like Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And then he
It
leans
was-
over and he whispers, "Hail Hydra," and
Hail
then just
Hydra,
fucking
you
walks
know.
out with the thing.
Watch out, they're like, oh, okay, here you go.
That's
They're like,
two
Captain America's
callbacks in
one of
one. I
us?
loved it.
I was like,
It was also funny because they just had that huge controversy from the comic books where they had the Cap clone or whatever that was a Nazi and that worked for Hydra, and they just see headlines and stuff and don't know how to read anything, and so like people bitching that Cap's a Nazi or whatever, always been a Nazi and always been working for Hydra, but yet they don't know how to read and know that it's not the real Captain America.
Man, that storyline was so convoluted.
I mean, like, if people just read stuff, they would know. But, people these days, they just bitch about stuff. So.
And they see the end panel in a single comic, and you're like, oh no.
It's Captain America. He's a Nazi.
He can't be a Nazi.
There can't be one of them Nazis. We'd be killing Nazis. But I guess I will talk about Endgame since Ryan, maybe he fell asleep.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. He probably fell asleep to the sound of his own voice or something.
I texted him and he hasn't texted back either. Maybe he's got something going on. I don't know. But I'll talk about Endgame. Endgame in my mind was, like you said, a spectacle. One of the greatest things ever on film. It's just something that we will never see again. Probably, maybe. I mean, I don't know what their next plans are. I mean, I don't know what the MCU is going to happen. But I just don't. 22 movies built up to make this to see this moment, and just all of it come together, and then like you said, that final scene where everybody's there and all this stuff, and just all these moments, all these callbacks to all these older MCU movies, like the elevator scene. I'm glad you brought that up because it was coming to, and just all these, so many things in this movie, and just even at the end when Tony's funeral and the kid from Iron Man 3 was there.
Yeah.
Just so much stuff in this movie, and it's just an amazing thing. And story-wise, I love the film so much. I love the story. They made everything great and work, and just it was great. It was fantastic, amazing film. I don't think I'll ever. It became the best film I've ever seen in my life. I don't think, in which I never thought that any movie would ever top The Dark Knight in my head as best movie I've ever seen. But it did. I mean, it did. It did in my mind.
That's a tall order to do to top The
it,
Dark Knight, in my opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in my head, I feel like it did it, and it just, it's cool to people bandwagon hate, and I'm starting to see a bandwagon hate move on through Endgame now online, and it's just stupid. It's just people seem like it's the cool thing now to bash on it for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean, numbers don't lie, so that's all I care about. But
yeah.
it's just, it's because also people, when they are bashing on it, are also those people are idiots and they don't understand simple concepts of stuff, and then you explain them stuff and they just deny everything that you're saying so that way they can be right. So anyways, as I said, my favorite part in the movie, what I was probably most excited about, was when Thanos is standing over Thor, and then the fucking hammer hits him, and it's Captain America
yes.
has thrown Mjolnir or whatever how you pronounce it. But I was just like, because I knew I knew when he like looked at it, I was like, oh God, here we go, and so, and I was like, it's about to happen, and then when he gets hit with the hammer, I was like, yes, this is everything I ever wanted to see in life. Like, I was like, you can die now, Cap. It's okay. Whatever happens to you, I'm fine. You've done all I need you to do.
Right. And I thought he was about to.
Yeah, thought he was, and I thought he was going to die in that moment, and then that happened. So I mean, that
I thought he was gonna get impaled with the sword.
Yeah, me too.
But
that was it was so cool to see him with the hammer, and then him and Thor, and then him and Thor had switched, and then Stormbreaker Mjolnir, and then he's like, no, let me have that one, and then they switched back, and so
you take the small one.
Yeah. That was so good. That was so good. Which let's a little trivia about this, about how he's able to pick up the hammer. So he's tried to pick up the hammer before. They all did when they were drinking and stuff in Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of nudged it a little bit, and but he didn't pick it up. And so, what I read about it online, I don't know if anyone else had read this, but it said that the reason why he couldn't pick it up is because in Civil War, whenever Tony finds out that Bucky has killed his parents, and then Cap says that he knew that Bucky had killed the Starks, and he didn't tell Tony. So the reason why he couldn't pick up the hammer in Age of Ultron is because he was living with a lie and not telling his friend Tony about Bucky killing his parents. And then once that secret came out and the truth was told, then Captain America wasn't living with a lie anymore, and so then therefore he was worthy enough to lift the hammer.
All right.
I
mean, it's not like that's been confirmed or anything, but
I always thought like he knew he could pick up the hammer, but you see it nudge a little bit, like in Age of Ultron, but like I feel like he just didn't pick up the hammer just to piss off Thor or make him upset or something. But
yeah,
because when he threw the hammer, then Thor looks up and he's like, "I knew it."
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But that also could fit in with the same thing though.
Yeah.
That he knew that he could at that point. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not been confirmed either way, but it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, he picked up the damn hammer, and it was awesome. So that and the elevator scene was great because I was like, it's like Winter Soldier. And then whenever he said, I was wondering if he was about to say Hail Hydra, because I was like, surely they just wouldn't see, because it looked like it was like exactly like the elevator scene, except Stillwell was there, and I was like, it was like pretty much those soldiers were like doing the same thing with their guns and stuff, and I was like, this is gonna be exactly the same. And then when he started leaning over, I was like, oh god, he's about to say Hail Hydra, isn't he? Then he said it, and I was like, oh, great. And then most of my favorite best parts were with Captain America, which I haven't always been a huge Captain America fan, but until the MCU, maybe because it's just Chris Evans has done such an amazing job. But whenever he's fighting the Cap from 2012, and the Cap goes, "I can do this all day," and Steve's just like, "I know." That was a good one too.
Yeah, that's a callback to a couple of other times because he said it at least twice.
Yeah, he said it at the very beginning of Captain America, and then he said it whenever he was fighting Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a good callback. So many, like I said, so many callbacks. So
many.
But as far as ranking goes, I'm putting it at the top. on even if I use both your systems, I'm still putting it at the top. Winter
I don't
Soldier.
blame you.
Winter Soldier, even story wise, I still think that it delivered more than which is really crazy because like Winter Soldier has always been my go-to film. It's always been my favorite one, and I mean, and it was never better than The Dark Knight in my mind, but it was like my second favorite film, if anybody asked. And so, the Endgame just did it for me. I mean, it checked all these boxes that I'd want to see in the conclusion of the Infinity Saga, and it just anything that I'd want to see, it was in an Endgame. So, which wouldn't doesn't make sense to me that anybody that doesn't like Endgame, what do you not like about it? Because anything that we wanted to see in the MCU, we got that in Endgame. It happened. We got the conclusion of everything. All the stories were tied up. Everything was good, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of people's biggest gripe, was how they used Captain Marvel in the film.
Yeah.
Which
right? Is that you?
I can understand why. Oh, what? Was that right?
Ryan?
Yeah, that was right.
Ryan, where you been?
Huh?
Where did you go?
I had to walk away for a second.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Go on, Taylor, but we're going to get to you, Ryan, because we've been through this whole thing. We've had a whole conversation about you.
Yeah. But like I was saying, the way they used Captain Marvel, a lot of people were mad that she just came in like Deus Ex Machina and took out the ship and went toe to toe with Thanos real quick, and then she just, kind of saved everybody. But I don't feel like that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like on its surface, yeah, that's what happened. But looking into it after watching it a second time, she's always like, as established in Captain Marvel, her team was a lie. So she's not used to playing with other people yet, and she's still trying to figure that out,
Yeah.
And then she came in, took out the ship, and I feel like they're kind of trying to pass like the leader of the Avengers from Cap. I feel like they're trying to pass the torch to her.
Yeah.
Because her fight with Thanos before he yanks the Power Stone out of the gauntlet and just punches her into oblivion kind of mirrors the short fight with Cap that he had in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Like sense. Holding the glove back and everything, keeping him from closing his fist.
Yeah. I haven't really seen people complain about the Captain Marvel bits, except for, the people that don't like women as lead characters, sexist pigs.
Yeah.
That, besides those people, I haven't really seen people care, or political stance people that just want to bash on Captain Marvel because of Brie Larson. But other than that, I mean, I haven't seen any storyline wise. So, of course, you have different people associated with you than I have with me. So,
right.
But my main thing that I've seen people talk about is something else, which I want to get into after we go to Ryan real quick, because Ryan, just want your general thoughts on the movie, and then I'm going to ask you what your favorite part about it was and where you rank it. We did that with everybody. So, general thoughts about what did you think about the movie? What did you think about it?
It is an amazing movie. It's a it's a great conclusion to several storylines.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with the female lead situation. I did think that the one scene whenever Captain Marvel gets the Infinity Gauntlet and like every female character appears in the screen, I thought that was a little cheesy, but I get it.
Robert Downey Jr. really loved that moment, though.
That's what I've heard.
He was a huge fan of it.
But
I think they really did that because of the talks of there needing a whole female team-led Marvel movie. So I think that's why they did that.
And it's possible.
Jesus.
I mean, it's very, very, very possible.
I'd watch it.
But
yeah.
I got teary-eyed in 2 different scenes of the movie.
Okay.
I definitely got teary-eyed whenever Tony's arc reactor turned off. Gosh, what was the other thing?
I don't know, man. I'm not you.
I know. Oh, whenever they finally point out that what is her name? I can't remember it.
A girl,
anyway,
Black Widow?
Whenever they finally the death of Romanov.
Oh, so like whenever they pretty much say that she couldn't come back when Hulk says that he tried snapping her back.
Yeah.
So.
Because that's Ruffalo. Whenever Hulk's wearing that, he admits that the reason why his unsnap failed is because he tried to bring back Natasha, and the Stones weren't having it. But it was really nice to see that Captain got to live out his love life with Peggy, and that this whole time Peggy's husband that she never talked about to anyone was Cap, because she couldn't talk to anyone about him.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're going to end up talking about that in a minute. So I don't want to talk about that right this second, because that's where a lot of people's complaints come from. So
they can complain all they want to, but that's what happened, and I've seen complaints online about it. But I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, when people complain about the movie, which I was telling Taylor, it's nothing. Nothing I saw was about Captain Marvel, and it had to do with Captain America. It had to do with time travel. What was your favorite part of the movie, besides, when Hulk met Hulk in the Battle of New York, of course?
My favorite part about Hulk, the whenever the selfie scene.
Oh, when he took one with the kids.
Yeah, and like that whole scene with Ant-Man getting jealous and all that stuff.
That was pretty good.
I did think it was great. Whenever the way that Hulk was, whenever he at the Battle of New York, where he's like unenthusiastically smashing things.
Oh, and he's like, ugh. It was funny. That was good. Yeah. So far as ranking wise, where would you rank this among the other MCU movies?
Oh, it's definitely the top MCU movie. It was worth all 3 hours and 1 minute. I think it was well done. I of course everyone's going to feel this way, that I do feel like there were some other things that they could have done. I personally would have liked to seen one Deadpool cameo. I would have, in the Thanos battle, it would have been cool if there was just one scene in the distant background of like Deadpool riding a Chitauri with swords stuck in the dude, like just something. It didn't even have to have his voice or anything, just something, some nod to the merger. But of course, you can't always get what you want.
Well, maybe we'll get a post-credit scene at Far From Home.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man and Deadpool have a lot of comic book history together, so.
Hey guys, so unfortunately, I do have to go.
Okay.
I've run out of time for today. But I wish y'all well on the rest of the episode.
Yeah. No problem, man.
I'll explain to you guys later, but yeah, I had something come up. Sorry.
Cool. You're all right. I'm gonna remove you from the call.
Okay, all right. I'll sit.
All
I'll
right.
talk to y'all.
All right, later, man. Cool. Yeah. Miss that guy. Miss that guy, man.
What a bitch.
So, anyways, since he did mention that, which now he's not here to talk about it. Good job, Ryan. The whole Cap living out his life, and that he was always the husband, which is my theory on it too. Which is a lot of people's thing is the whole Cap going back in time and living with Peggy. That's their complaint is that it doesn't go with the rules of time travel that was set up in the film. And like went out into intricate details with people about how he's always been there this entire time. That there was always a second Cap. That's why we never saw who Peggy's husband, what he looks like, never knew what his name was or anything like that. That's why, and I totally believe this still, even though that one of the Russo brothers said that he was in an alternate reality, but the writers of the script have now said that they deny that. So it's even the people that made the movie can't agree on with what happened. But I feel like the Russo brothers wrong because it just doesn't make sense with their rules of time travel and what's set up in the film. I feel like saying there is an alternate reality the entire time kind of contradicts everything that's been set up through this whole MCU.
Yeah.
And it just makes more sense that Cap was always there because we never knew who Peggy's husband was. That he was always there, that he's always in the background, that he was always, and that Cap and him, they couldn't talk about her husband. They couldn't let anyone know that her husband was Cap because obviously that's going to mess with some timeline shit. And then it would cause an alternate reality. So it was kind of pretty much kept hidden, you know?
That makes sense too.
Yeah, and it makes sense because I feel like the most glowing evidence of that is in Endgame, is whenever he's in the freaking office, that Peggy's in the next office right there at the window, and he's like staring at her. She's literally looking down, and whenever she turns to the other person, she turns still looking down to not look at the window up. Who turns like that? Who turns like that?
No idea.
Like, I feel like it was deliberate. That Cap, because she was with Cap, who came back in time, and he's there, and he's like, look, I'm going to be at the S.H.I.E.L.D. compound this day. I'll be at the window. Don't look at the window. You know? That makes more sense to me. Because why would you not... I'm just saying, if you're standing in a window... You're going to feel, if someone's staring at you at a window and you're right outside it, aren't you going to notice someone standing outside your window?
Potentially.
I mean, I would know because hairs would start going up on my neck and stuff. I would know someone was looking at me.
Unless you're a pro stalker.
I mean, I just feel like that was real. So because they were so close together that I just don't see how it happened. And just the way that she turned while still looking down, I've never seen anybody turn that way. Like it just felt deliberate, and I felt like that was. And so I'm gonna back up the writers and say that Cap's always been there. That way it doesn't go, because if he went to an alternate time, then he came back to this time to give the shield to whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he came from the alternate universe back to this universe. Wouldn't he have came on the little platform though?
That would necessitate him still having one of the stones.
I mean, so it's just some of the things they set up, and I thought the timelines are only created when it has to do with an Infinity Stone, because isn't that what's her name said?
Yeah, if you remove one from the time
It
from its
creates an
timeline.
alternate
It
timeline.
creates an alternate branch.
So why would he just go back in time, create an alternate timeline? It has nothing to do with an Infinity Stone.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And it just makes more sense. Like, and I said that Cap's been there the entire time.
Yeah, I just assumed that that's what happened. Like, he went back and he's been her secret husband the whole time.
Because why did she never say her husband's name? Why is he not in the pictures of with their husband? You can't see. Why would they deliberately go through this point of this whole time, never seeing her husband, never hearing his name, never seeing a picture of him, nothing? Why? Because it was Cap.
Yeah. Now, along the same vein of the Cap's solo trek back, I can only assume that it's a scene that got cut because of length of time, and I hope it's in some sort of deleted scenes or in like a one shot on the Blu-ray or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cap getting to Vormir with the Soul Stone.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking
I
about
would
that.
love to see that. Just pick C, and he's like, to see Red Skull. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, man, hello, Steve, son
It
of.
would be like, I hope they did create something like that for a one shot. I feel like maybe that it would have broken pace a little bit too much.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely shouldn't have been in the movie, but to see it, just to see Cap's journey, would just been good. To see him just do a one shot of Cap putting all the stones back.
Right.
Yeah.
Cap returns the stones, because here's the good one to think about. All right, so how'd he get that stone back in Jane Foster?
Oh, my. I made you a
Reinjected
cupcake.
her?
Eat this.
Re-injected her? Like what? I like
That's
that's
I
just
got
the good
nothing.
part. All right, so it makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. So I've like explained this to some people. Whatever, you either get it or you don't. I mean, I've went drawn out plenty of conclusions. You either believe that or you don't, or you believe that they've spent 22 movies and had all this stuff and made this movie that culminated anything, and then they made a stupid time travel mistake at the very end. Then somehow Kevin Feige, who's put all this money and they put all this effort into this entire freaking universe, and they broke pretty much their own time travel rules in the movie. So you can either believe my theory of Cap was always there, or you can believe that they're just fucking stupid.
And besides, it was technically it was just Bruce Banner who said the time travel rules.
Yeah, but still.
Maybe he doesn't know shit anyway.
But what's her name said that it has to do with the Infinity Stones too. Taking an Infinity Stone out of the timeline.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's just it's another argument. Like, I mean, you could sit there and all day and argue that side back and forth, you know.
And then of course the new Loki television show is rumored to take place from the timeline where Loki takes the Tesseract.
Yes, which would make sense that there would be an alternate reality because of Loki taking the Tesseract, which is an Infinity Stone. So
Yeah, that would give us the alternate reality needed to have the Loki show.
yeah.
And then WandaVision's supposed to take place in the 50s.
That's where I'm questioning it. Because I mean, it makes sense to do the Loki show alternate reality. Your Falcon and Winter Soldier show, which should now be Captain America and Winter Soldier show. Captain Falcon. I mean, is that his name now?
I think that's
There
copyrighted.
already is a Captain Falcon.
I know. Jesus Christ. I know, guys.
Wait, hold up. Real quick, though. Can you imagine the lawsuit between Nintendo and Disney over that?
Disney would win.
They'd win, but Nintendo has enough money that it would drag on for decades.
Right. Captain Falcon. He's already been Captain America in the comics, and he just went by Captain America. So
Yeah,
he wanted to go by Captain Falcon, but I'm gonna call him that. But
we all do.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's going to be a sequel to Endgame now, and so you're going to see them. I hope that Bucky gets to have the shield some in the show, so to see them both use the shield. So that'd be cool. And then what else? The Hawkeye show, which will probably be a sequel with more him training his daughter to be Hawkeye, which I think will potentially end up making for, a few. What's the next Avengers? What are they called? Zach, the Avengers in the future. The Avengers of the future. What are they called? What is that thing called?
What, the next Avengers?
Is that what it's called? Next Avengers?
I don't know. There's a lot of different Avengers.
Wasn't there an animated show, animated movie?
Mm-hmm.
What was it called?
I think it was called Avengers Next or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's setting up, so you can set up that through Hawkeye's daughter, and then you can have Stature, which is Cassie Lang. I just read that this morning that girl from 13 Reasons Why was supposed to be a older version of Morgan Stark. And her scene got cut because it didn't test well with test audiences. That after Tony died, that he went to like a wayward station, kind of like how Thanos saw Gamora. And that so he saw Morgan being older, and it was played by that Catherine Lunsford or whatever her name is from 13 Reasons Why, Langsford or whatever her name is.
I don't know.
But yeah, so that apparently was a cut scene from Endgame. But as you say though, the WandaVision show is something I'm not really for sure how that's gonna work. Because, like you said, they say it's set in the 50s. It's like 8 episodes or something like that, or 6 episodes or something. And it's only supposed to run time, like it's literally in real time, like 6 to 8 hours. Like that's actually how much space and time happens in the show. Like a 24 situation. The TV show 24.
Yeah.
You have 24 episodes, and each episode's an hour, and it's an hour and a whole day. And so I think that's what the situation's supposed to be in the WandaVision show. So I'm just trying to figure out where this is going to fall in the timeline. And I mean, I guess the 50s could be with time travel, but so Vision, which is weird though, because at the end when he's talking to she's talking to Hawkeye, and they talk about Natasha being gone, and she mentioned Vision being gone and stuff like that, and how they have to live their lives without them.
Yeah.
That part. So, but in Infinity War, they were trying to make Vision. Shuri was trying to move Vision's consciousness and whatever. So Vision is gonna come back, I'm guessing. And then they're going to take a vacation. Why does everybody, when they come back, have to take a vacation? Well, I've been gone for 5 years. Let's go on vacation. I'm sorry. It's weird. I don't know. Like I'm far from home. They go on a field trip.
We don't know exactly how far after that is, though. We don't know exactly when that's set in.
True. It could... Still, God, such weird. Yeah, we don't know like the time of the. I guess it could have been in the fall, and then the Far From Home is the summer after that.
Could be.
So it's been like 6 to 9 months later.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how it's gonna work.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got a lot to look forward to, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
For sure, for sure.
For sure. For sure. But
For
I'm excited.
shizzle.
I'm excited now. I'm more excited about I was excited about the Disney Plus shows, but I think I became even more excited once I saw Endgame.
That stands to reason, I think.
Especially the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. That one, I'm really more excited about that one now than I was beforehand. So, just because I want to see some shield swapping. So, Bucky with shield is cool. So, here's a thing about Bucky that I read. Did you notice that it's pretty much implied that Bucky knew that Cap was going to come back?
Yes.
And so you've seen it 2 times, right?
Yep.
So could you tell that? Did it seem like that? Because I just read it because I don't really know. I didn't really notice that whenever I watched it the first time. So I need to watch it. I've only watched it once, so I need to watch it again to really, I guess, see that. But did you get that from it?
On the first one, it kind of looks like it, but my opinion on that can go one of 2 ways. Either he didn't know, and he just kind of happened to turn around and see him first, or he did know, which would actually hold up your theory that Cap's
been there
the whole time. Yeah. It would hold that theory up, because that means that at some point during that time, Cap found Bucky and said, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which would also make sense as to why he didn't walk up to Cap instead of sending Sam over there.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wondered that. I was like, I did wonder that why he sent Sam over there and didn't go over there himself, because, I mean, that's like his best friend, you know? So, I mean, I thought that was weird. So it wouldn't make more sense that Bucky did run into old Cap at some point in time. But he probably told Bucky that he couldn't interfere with what happens. Like, he probably told Bucky, like, you still have to let this stuff happen. It's going to suck, but we'll be okay. Everything will be all right, but you have to let it happen. So
Right.
you have to trust me. Because, I mean, obviously he'd want to know why there was an old Cap. Why?
Right.
What happened here?
What did you do?
Oh man. But I like that theory though, because like you said, it does beef up mine.
Yeah, it does hold that one up. So
Yeah. So I like it more now.
all right, there you go then.
Yeah. Just any notable bits more in the movie? I guess we should talk about Tony dying, which
I
we've
was
already
really trying
said.
to avoid that, but
Okay, well, Natasha died because I didn't even realize this. Let's go with that first because it's easier to deal with.
okay.
Because whenever they went back in time to get all the stones, and I didn't even think about the Soul Stone. I didn't even think about it. I mean, I knew they had to get all the stones, but I didn't think about what you have to do to get the Soul Stone until they left War Machine and Nebula on. Speaking of War Machine, I'm pretty certain that him and Captain Marvel are dating because the way they looked at each other whenever they were holograms. But anyway, I digress. They dated in the comics too, so it makes sense.
Okay.
So just to let you know, just the way they looked at each other. But anyways, has nothing to do with anything. Whenever they got back in the ship, and started going towards Vormir, I was like, holy crap. One of them's about to die. So, and I knew it was going to be Black Widow at that point because, which is weird that it was almost not Black Widow. They almost changed it to make it Hawkeye, I've read. But someone was like, no, you can't take this moment away from Natasha.
Yeah.
Which, it's perfectly okay with me. I wasn't upset by it. Which now we know the Black Widow movie is definitely a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
so-
we'll finally get to know what happened in Budapest.
Yeah, that's what I read somewhere. It said maybe we'll find out what happens in Budapest. I think it's set after the first Avengers movie, though.
Dang it.
I'm not for certain, though. I really like to know what
Find
happened.
out.
Maybe it'll be a flashback of a flashback. Flashback to a flashback in a prequel movie. I don't know what it's called. Is that still a flashback? I guess so. But I didn't realize it into the moment when they're going there, the two of them. I was like, shit, one of them's about to die. And then Lacey's like, what are you talking about? I was like, they're going to get the soul stone. And she was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, one of them has to die to get the soul stone. So, but yeah, it was a good call to make it Natasha. Like, I mean, Hawkeye needs that redemption. And
Yeah.
so he needs the redemption from after being Ronin, and he also needs to train his daughter to be Hawkeye. So it makes more sense storyline wise to make Natasha die. And she's pretty much done everything that she could possibly do. So, but I guess the big death though was, we've mentioned it a few times, but we kind of just passed over it, and was Tony 9.
Yeah. And after watching it and thinking about it, it had to be him.
For sure.
It couldn't have been anyone else. He started this whole thing. It only made sense that it closed with him.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely will agree with that. I mean, Iron Man is the MCU, or was the MCU, through all those phases. I mean, he was even in the freaking Spider-Man movie. So I mean, it was always Iron Man. I mean, I am Iron Man, and I liked how that was his favorite, his last little bit there. So one of his last things he said was, "I am Iron Man."
I felt like he was probably gonna die because I mean, Strange kept him alive on Titan, and I mean, I don't know, it just made sense if someone had to die, it was probably gonna be him.
Yeah. Strange knew that he needed him. He needed to be alive for the future.
Yeah. And whenever Strange looked at him and held his finger up, and I knew in that moment, oh man, Tony knows he's about to die too.
Yeah.
He knows what he has to do. And it was like, oh god, it was so, it took everything. I mean, I almost lost it at one point. I didn't cry. The other two people on the show normally did. Mainly because I'm a sociopath, I guess, as Zach says. So I didn't cry, which is weird because I cried during my dog Skip. So I don't know what happened. Years of trauma, I guess.
I thought you didn't like dogs.
Anyways, my dog Skip was a sad movie, man. Shut up. But whenever in the little hologram thing at the end, whenever he looks at his daughter straight in the eye and says, "I love you 3,000," that's when I almost lost it. That was almost when I lost it. Also, whenever I saw Rhodey crying on the couch, I almost lost it then too. I don't know why. I was like, just Don Cheadle crying. Why am I crying? Almost about to cry. But there was literally this guy sitting next to me. I mean, he was massive of a man. I mean, like Bane, Dark Knight Rises, bigger than that. Oh man, and he was losing his shit when Tony died. like bawling. Like I could hear him blubbering through the rest of the bit, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like maybe I didn't cry because of him.
He was doing it enough for both of you.
Yeah, he was like crying for the whole theater. So the whole theater was crying. I think my wife's eyes teared up a little bit, so I knew it was a sad moment. So
You knew it was a sad moment. Well, that's good as long as you knew.
I knew it was sad. I knew it was going to be really sad.
I saw other people crying, so I knew it must have been a sad moment.
I really think the dude's blubbering threw me off. So I'm just going to blame it on him. It was a sad moment, though.
Uh-huh.
Should have slapped him and said, "Stop your blubbering."
I was happy for Cap, though. So, but Endgame was amazing. I can't think of anything else that happened in the movie that we haven't touched upon that needs to be touched upon.
Except for the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, Fat Thor in the movie.
Finally, a Thor I
That's
can cosplay.
Yeah, we can all everybody can cosplay as Thor now. Everybody
He
can
actually
cosplay
he
as
actually looked like a god, because I mean, in like mythology, gods are kind of like fatter, but they're like muscular too. But
Thor. Right.
I don't know. I just felt like he looked more like a actual god in this.
I'm really excited to see if he's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They asked, someone asked the writers or sometimes directors of the movie if he was going to be in it, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and they said, I don't know, you'd have to ask Quill about that. And then they said Quill or James Gunn, rather.
Nice.
So
And the Asgardians of the Galaxy too. That's a real team in the comics.
yeah, right now they actually have a comic book series as Guardians of the Galaxy. But guys, I don't think I can think of anything else.
No, I think that's about it as far as I know.
I mean, I think we pretty much touched on everything.
Pretty much everything that was pretty important anyway.
Well, I don't have anything else. That's the end of the show, I guess. So, if no one else has anything to say, you guys okay with me closing up the shop here?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Well, everybody, I want to thank you so much for listening to episode 20. Nice little milestone, I guess. We're almost a fourth of the way to 100. So we're now in our 20s. We'll be legal to drink next episode. Zach.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Does that
yeah.
mean you guys are going to be drunk the whole episode? Because that'll be kind of fun.
I mean, I feel like that's normal Ryan behavior. So, I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything different. I want to just end the show by telling y'all that he did text me and tell me that whenever he said he had to step away for a minute, he was actually passed out. So I'm sure he texted that to me just so that, maybe it would just, I wouldn't say it, but, I'm not going to let Ryan off the hook, and he's not going to listen to the show anyway, but he legit passed out. He said, for real, I dead ass passed out.
Oh, too bad he didn't have like a stroke or something.
But I don't know why he had to leave and what he's going to explain to us later. But I did hear some talking in the background. He probably had to take Nathan to work or something. But thanks so much for listening to episode 20. Go follow us on our social medias. Hear us talk about our comic book and stuff. And that's coming up. Hopefully going to put out some sketches soon because Zach got us an artist who needs to deliver me my sketches. Come back next week for episode 21, and we'll either A, have a special guest, or B, we'll have Ryan the entire show, because I won't let him leave. Taylor, I want to thank you so much for being on the show, though. Thank you so much.
Hey, man. CK, thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah, man, it has. It's been a good time. And so I guess we will see you next week. #good stuff.